Hey there, in this video I want to talk about 4 must-read books to completely transform your life and become unrecognizable in the coming year. Whether that be through building better habits, building wealth, working towards the life you want, being more productive, or whatever else. For each of the books, I'll give you a summary of the book, tell you why it's a must-read, and how it can impact your life, and give you some key takeaways. Let's get into it. Book number 1, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits is a must-read if you're trying to build new habits, break old ones, or improve yourself in any way, shape, or form. As a New York Times bestseller, it's widely regarded as the best book on habits ever written. The book explores how small, daily, incremental habits can compound over time and lead to pretty insane results. James Clear also breaks down the science of habit formation, provides a framework for building good habits that stick, and breaking bad ones for good. Let me walk you through some of the key lessons of the book. Key lesson number 1, the power of 1% improvements. If you get 1% better every day for a year, you'll end the year 37 times better than when you started. But if you get just 1% worse each day, you'll end the year 97% worse than when you started it. And 1% changes are completely unnoticeable when you do them. Could be going for 5 more seconds of a run each day, staying in the sauna for an extra 10 seconds, meditating for another 20 seconds, just doing what you do and just making it slightly better, slightly improving yourself each day to the point where it's completely unnoticeable. But when you look back at the end of a year and you're running 20 minutes instead of 5, you're staying in the sauna for 20 minutes, you're meditating every day for 30 minutes, you see how far you've come and the incredible results that you've made with these small changes. Another key takeaway from the book is the habit loop. The habit loop is a clear understanding of what exactly a habit is, what triggers it, what causes you to do it, and why you repeat it. And this understanding of a habit helps you better comprehend your habits, why you do certain things, why you find it challenging to stop certain things, and maybe why you can't start certain things. Let me walk you through what the habit loop actually is. The habit loop is 4 things that make up the general definition of a habit: the cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue is the trigger for the habit. Let's say the habit is watching TV. You see the TV remote sitting on the table. That is the cue. That's what triggers you to go want to watch TV. Craving is what you want to get from the habit, the pleasure you actually crave by doing the habit. The response is what you do as a result of the cue and the craving. And if the craving is strong enough, the response will be to walk up to the TV remote and turn on the TV. And the reward is what satisfies the craving. It's what you get out of doing the habit, the dopamine hit you get from watching TV. Now we know what a habit is, why we do it, why we repeat it, what we want out of it, and we can use this habit loop and what James Clear calls the 4 laws of behavioral change to form good habits, and the clear understanding of the habit loop to build good habits that stick. Here are the 4 laws of behavioral change for forming good habits. For the cue, you want to make it obvious. Let's say the habit you want to start doing is reading more before bed. The cue, the trigger, seeing a book. How can we make that obvious? Let's put our book on top of our pillow. Now when we're going to bed, we'll see the book on our pillow, and before we get in bed, we'll just grab that book and read. The craving, we want to make it attractive. So if we're reading a book, we could just put an interesting book on our bed that we're interested in reading, and now it's attractive to read that book. The response, you want to make it easy. Putting the book on top of your pillow helps keep it easy, because all you have to do is pick up the book, start reading it. The last part, the 4th law of behavioral change, the reward, we want to make it satisfying. After we want to read that book, we want that craving to be satisfied. Whether it be our curiosity, our need for sleep, our want to be tired, we want to make sure that that is satisfied. And using that framework, those 4 laws of behavioral change, we can form good habits that stick. Here's the really interesting thing about the 4 laws of behavioral change. You can actually inverse them and use that inverse of the 4 laws to break your bad habits. And you do the same thing that you do with good habits, just turn them around and break your bad habits. So for the 4 laws of behavioral change for breaking bad habits, they're as follows. The cue or the trigger, you want to make it not obvious. Let's say the habit you're trying to stop is watching TV too much. Take the TV remote, put it in the drawer. Now you won't just see it on the table, and it won't trigger you to go want to watch TV. The craving, you want to make it completely unattractive. Maybe put the TV in black and white, or log out of all your apps, or something that makes you not want to go watch TV at all. For the response, you want to make it difficult. Put the TV remote somewhere where it's not easy to get, take the batteries out, and just create a lot of friction. So you have to go to great lengths if you want to watch TV. And the reward, you want to make it completely unsatisfying. You're done watching TV, you want to just feel like you've wasted your time, and your craving is completely unsatisfied. And if you have no fun apps on your TV, it's in black and white, and you had to put the batteries inside the remote to go watch it, you think you're going to be doing that again? you're not. Using the inverse of the 4 laws of behavioral change and the habit loop, you can actually break your bad habits pretty easily and stop them for good. The 4th key takeaway is the power of your environment and how tuning your environment actually changes the person that you become. And environment trumps willpower every time. And by designing your environment in a specific way, you actually cast a vote for and design the type of person that you become. If you do all those steps to make watching TV very difficult and make reading very easy, you're gonna find yourself reading a lot more and watching TV a lot less. And it's all just from changes to your environment. You're still the same person, but you're slowly becoming who you want to become by changing your environment. And this is one of the key takeaways from this book, especially for me. I changed my environment so much to make me into the person that I want to become. I have a dumb phone now. I have a lockbox for the TV remote in my phone all day. I make it super difficult to do the things that I don't want to do, and I've benefited tremendously from doing so. Key takeaway number 5, the power of identity-based habits. This one was really interesting for me. You want to focus on changing who you are and your identity rather than focusing on the outcomes. Let me explain a little bit. You want to change your identity into someone that will lead you to the outcomes that you want, the goals that you want to accomplish. You don't want to focus on achieving that goal. You want to focus on changing yourself into someone that will naturally achieve that goal over time. Let's say you want to become someone who is wealthier or better managing their money. There are certain changes in habits that you can do to become someone that is better with their money. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about this more in book number 3. Let's continue. And then Clear mentions a lot of tools and rules that you can use to easily build new habits and make them stick, such as the 2-minute rule and habit stacking and loads more things in the book. And it's a fantastic book and I highly recommend you check it out. This book, along with all the other books I mentioned in this video, will be linked in the description, so you can click down below if you want to order them on Amazon. Speaking of habits in your phone, let's talk about taking back control of your digital life. This brings me on to book number 2, Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. This book is also one of the core reasons why I turned my phone into a dumb phone, why I have a time-like lockbox, why I'm a lot more disciplined just because of my environment without any willpower needed at all. Not only that, it's helped me declutter my digital life, reduce my distractions, and reduce the noise in my life. It's helped me to focus more on what I want to achieve and on my life in general. And it's a must read if you're looking to take back control of your digital life and be more mindful of your use of technology and how it's probably distracting you from the life that you want. The book itself is a self-help book that dives into the power of using technology intentionally to support you rather than distract you from the life you want. And as a computer science professor and best-selling author, Cal Newport delves into how constant digital engagement impacts our well-being and productivity. The book explores applying minimalism and mindfulness to our use of technology in the modern digital age. Let me walk you through some of the key takeaways from the book. Key takeaway number 1, the world is built to distract you. Think about it a little bit. All these apps, all these social media apps, literally everything that you see is created by really smart people with the ultimate goal of capturing your attention and keeping it for as long as possible. And as a result, we have all these apps that are trying to constantly pull us in and keep us there. All these messaging apps, social media apps, literally everything in the world is just trying to distract you. And they spend millions and millions of dollars hiring the smartest people, doing all the research, figuring out the best ways to suck you in and keep you there. But this brings us into key takeaway number 2, which is the value of your attention and how most people don't value their attention. But Newport argues how valuable our attention really is and how it's the most valuable thing we have. It's our time, our energy, and how you need to actually be intentional about resisting these things that are trying to grab your attention. You need to fight against literally everything in the world trying to pull you in and distract you. And it's challenging. It's very challenging, especially today in the modern age with iPhones, with constant notifications, with computers, just all these distractions. You need to find a way to just clear out of all the clutter, get rid of all the notifications, and focus on what you really want out of life. Focus on your goals, what you want to accomplish, proving yourself, what you really want. Newport also argues that as a result of this constant distraction, we have a lack of time to ourselves to just reflect and to think. And we suffer because of it, mentally, socially, physically. And then Newport brings us through a full 30-day digital declutter to just reset yourself and figure out which apps and which technologies are absolutely essential for your life, about what you use with your attention and your time, and only keep what you really actually need and get rid of the rest. But yeah, read this book if you want to declutter your entire digital life and help focus and direct you towards the life that you want to live and accomplish. Oh wow, my leg is really fucking asleep. Oh God. All right, let's talk about book number 3, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of the first books that I ever read, and it completely changed my financial life and my perspective on finances before I even had my first job. And it completely kickstarted my journey into financial literacy. It's a must read if you're looking to break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle or mindset, or want to gain a better understanding of how to build wealth over time. The book itself is a financial literacy book that walks you through intelligently managing your money, building wealth, and operating in the same way that the ultra wealthy do. It was published in 1997 and has since become an international bestseller. The book tells the story of Kiyosaki's two fathers. First, his biological father, his poor dad, who was well educated but financially struggling, and second, his best friend's dad, the rich dad, who was less formally educated but highly financially successful. And through their contradicting philosophies, Kiyosaki explores how vastly different attitudes towards money, investing, and risk can lead to vastly different financial outcomes. Let me walk you through some of the key takeaways from the book. Firstly, Kiyosaki talks about how essential financial literacy and financial education are, but how they're crucially lacking in pretty much every educational system. And to really get a good understanding of finances and to become financially literate, you have to educate yourself. You need to take the time to learn about money management, wealth creation, investing, managing your money, not living paycheck to paycheck, escaping the rat race, all these things. You need to be intentional about learning these. Learning about finances, because no one's going to teach you. You need to take the time to teach yourself. And these are going to be some of the skills that do you best throughout your life, and they don't take that much time to learn. Second key takeaway is assets versus liabilities. Things you want to put your money in, things that grow over time and create wealth, versus things that just lose you money. Buying a $1,000 Gucci shirt, believe it or not, is actually not an asset, it's a liability. Wow, big surprise. Kiyosaki talks about how assets put money in your pocket and build wealth over time, and how liabilities are just a distraction. Just take money out. How you want to stay away from liabilities, focus all your money and all your energy towards assets, maximizing the amount of money that you can put into assets over time to build true wealth. Third key takeaway talks about the power of compounding and the power of investing over time, and how these long time horizons massively play to your advantage. Fourth, and this was the most interesting one for me, making your money work for you. Every dollar that you take in, consider it your employee. Now go give that dollar a job, go have it earn more money for you, whether that be through investing in the stock market and getting on average 7% yield per year, investing in real estate, starting your own company that generates passive income, just using your money in a way that generates more money. And this is a really, really interesting lesson, and he dives into a lot of detail. Key takeaway number 5, invest in assets that generate passive income. Passive income, you ask? Yeah. It's pretty much the best thing ever. You just go sit on the beach in Miami and have money passively added to your bank account or sent to you with no overhead. Basically, you don't have to do anything. This could be like putting your money in the stock market, getting 7% per year, or if you invest in a real estate portfolio or real estate fund or some angel fund. There's a lot of different ways that you can put your money to work for you and earn passive income, and Robert Kiyosaki dives into these in his book. Lastly, learning to delay gratification and pay yourself first. By pay yourself first, Kiyosaki means putting money into your assets first. Things that generate you wealth over time, those are the most important things to focus on. And sometimes you need to delay gratification in order to put your money in your assets. Maybe sometimes you can't go out to the bar with your friends, or you can't go fly to Barcelona when you want to, because you need to focus on building your money in these assets first and focus on the long term. And these all play together. It's a really interesting read. It gives you a basic idea of financial literacy and how to build assets and wealth over time, and I highly recommend everyone check it out. It's a pretty quick and easy read, and it will be linked in the description along with all the other books I mentioned. Okay, but what's the point of building all this wealth if you don't know what you want to do with your life? That's where the fourth book can maybe help you. The 12-week year. The 12-week year completely shifted my mindset when I read it and allowed me to use my time more efficiently and value every day rather than seeing my goals and my life on an annual time horizon. Not only that, it helped me to develop a vision for my life and take actionable steps towards achieving that vision. If you don't exactly know what you want to do with your life, or if you struggle with procrastination, find that annual goal setting isn't effective for you, this book is an absolute must read. The book proposes by redefining your year to be just 12 weeks, you create a sense of urgency and focus that drives better execution. The book explores and goes into how you can redefine the year into these 12-week blocks, and how you can achieve the same amount in those 12-week blocks as you would in 1 year and get much more done much more quickly. And it introduces an entire framework for accomplishing the same amount that you would in a year in those same 12 weeks and walks you through every step. I actually made a full video on this book breaking this entire framework and the system down. You can check that out right here if you want to check that out. But let's talk about the key takeaways. First key takeaway is breaking free from annualized thinking. You don't want to think on the time horizon of a year. That's too long, and it gives you time to procrastinate and delay your goals. goals. So by focusing on these 12-week blocks to achieve your yearly goals, every day counts, every day matters, and you use every day to move you towards achieving those goals that you want to accomplish in the 12-week year. Yearly goals are just a construct anyways. You don't need to wait 12 months to accomplish losing 30 pounds or whatever goals you have set. You can do it in these shorter time frames, and by just shortening the time horizon, you actually get a lot more done a lot faster and surprise yourself with how efficient you are. Another key takeaway from the book is walking you through making a vision for your life. This is before you make any goals. This is just what you want your life to look like. This gives your goals a purpose. What do you actually want to accomplish? What's your dream life? What are you really working towards? And you want to have that figured out before you even set these goals. You want to have something you're working towards. It's so important. And this is one of the foundational steps in the 12-week year. And I found it incredibly important and vital for having these goals that actually matter and I'm fired up to achieve. And obviously it brings you through developing your own 12-week year plan to take action towards the vision for your life that you want, the life that you want to achieve. And then it helps you execute your plan, track your progress, and score yourself every week to improve the system. And you can reuse it over and over again and achieve much more in a year than you would have otherwise. I highly recommend checking out this book, giving the 12-week year system a shot. You can check out my video about it, like I said. Hopefully it helps you get a lot more done faster. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, I also made this video right here breaking down the entire 12-week year system. You can click here to watch that, or you can click here to watch this video about how I walked 10 miles every day for a week. It's kind of fun, so I recommend checking it out. And there was a lot of benefits that I noticed, so check out one of these two videos. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.